Hello, guys. Welcome to my next movie review. But this time it's gonna be another film from 1958. And this time it'll be on the movie Houseboat from 1958, starring Cary Grant and Sophia Loren. So, without further ado, let's get this video started. Cue the intro, please.
You're near, that moment's here. I'm almost in your arms. Tonight, the mood is right. I'm almost in your arms. One sigh, one word, and I will rush to your embrace. Say that certain word, sigh that certain sigh, and with all my heart to your arms I'll fly. It's strange how we are changed by things that seem so small.
Hey guys, this is Jonathan, the Disney and Halloween fan here again. And today, welcome to my next movie review, but this time it's on the movie Houseboat. It came in the year of 1958. So basically what the plot is, it happened 3 years since Tom Winters, who's played by Cary Grant, had been separated from his wife and their 3 children, David, Elizabeth, and Robert. The film begins as he returns home from Europe following his wife's death. The children want to stay in the country with their mother's wealthy parents and her sister Carolyn, but Tom takes them to Washington, D.C., where he works in the U.S. State Department. The children resent their father, who spends the days giving them historical tours of the Washington sites. One evening, he takes the children to a classical outdoor concert, which he clearly bores the children. We see Cynthia, who is played by Sophia Loren, the daughter of the conductor, for the first time watching the orchestra from side wing. Cynthia then argues with her father backstage before escaping through a window onto the lake behind. She takes a rowing boat where Robert suddenly materializes, having almost run away. They go to a fun fair on the other side of the lake. Robert has money for pizza, but Cynthia doesn't. She cheats him out of a slice by showing him how to eat it correctly. She then compensates for this by winning him a harmonica on one of the sideshows. She was enchanted by little Roberto and his harmonica. She brings him back home. Tom offers her a job as a maid, unaware she is the daughter of a famous Italian orchestra conductor. Due to her love for the children, she accepts. Carolyn offers Tom and the children her old guest house. This is to be moved on a trailer to a new location. However, while the guest house is being towed down the road, it hits Tom's car just as it straddles a rail track. No one listens to the children pointing out the bigger problem, and the guest house is struck by a train. The tow truck driver, Angelo Donatello, feels guilty and he sells Tom his leaky, run-down old houseboat. And once moved in, Tom then discovers that Cynthia is unable to cook, do laundry, or even make coffee. Carolyn and others incorrectly assume that Cynthia's relationship with Tom is sexual, while Cynthia innocently wins the affection of Tom and the children. Meanwhile, he spends his evenings with Carolyn, who is secretly in love with him. And on the 4th of July, she tries to embarrass Cynthia by selecting a gaudy dress for Tom to buy for her. But when she transforms it into an elegant evening gown, she looks like beautiful in the gown that Angelo, a conformed womanizer, cancels the date with her in fear of falling in love and proposing to her. That evening, Carolyn arrives at the boat with Captain Alan Wilson and his wife. Alan, who is somewhat drunk, jokes about Cynthia's living arrangement with Tom and slaps her on the behind, and she serves drinks. She calls him an ill-mannered lout and throws a drink in his face before going to her room to cry. Tom asks Alan to leave the boat, but Carolyn takes Alan's side, following which Tom asks all three guests to leave. David cheers Cynthia up, and they make plans to go fishing, but Tom ruins David's plans by inviting Cynthia to the country club dance. Once there, he reconciles with Carolyn and they agree to get married. And as he dances with Cynthia, he finally realizes that he's in love with her, but she learns of the proposal, becomes upset, and runs away. Tom catches her and breaks it off with Carolyn. And a little while later, David unhappily, finds Tom and Cynthia passionately kissing in a rowboat. The movement of the rowboat rings a bell in David's room and he covers his ears. The children doesn't want him to marry her. They don't want Tom to marry her. David calls her ugly. Robert rejects her as a mother figure, and Elizabeth wants to continue sleeping in Tom's bed with him. Discouraged by this, she returns to her father, Master Zaccardi, but Tom follows her and she accepts Tom's wedding proposal, and the wedding takes place on the houseboat. Carolyn serves as a maid of honor. The children initially refuse to participate in the ceremony, but as it begins, Elizabeth and David join Tom and Cynthia at the altar, and Robert joins them playing Here Comes the Bride on his harmonica. And eventually they get married, and that's basically what the plot is for the film. What do I think about this movie? This is such a lovely film. I thought Cary Grant, Sophia Loren, and the children did well with this movie. I think they did a good job with acting in this film. Like, yeah, there are some scenes where it's very romantic of how Cary Grant and Sophia Loren met, and it gets romantic there, and the music is very lovely to listen to. I really like the music of when Cary Grant and Sophia went to this like dance, and they were dancing, and there was some music that I like. The romance was good. I liked the romance. It was very believable, and at the end, the children at first rejected the wedding, but then they joined, and eventually Carrie and Sophia got married in the film. And that was a very lovely ending. I think they did a good job with the acting, and I thought the acting was good, the directing was good. I thought everything about it was good. I've seen this film for the very first time, and back then, and let me tell you guys, this was such a beautiful and amazing film. I watched it, and what could I say? This is a true classic. I think Cary Grant and Sophia Loren did such a good job, especially the kids. The kids were fantastic. I really liked the kids in this film. The kids were just fantastic. The film was even nominated for 2 Academy Awards, won for Best Original Songs for Almost in Your Arms, which was a love song, and the other for Best Original Screenplay. And this is also one of my mom's favorites too. Yeah, I watched it and I've seen it, and what could I say? This was such a lovely film. So yeah, I think Paramount did such a great job with the directing, producing, and everything. It's this is If you haven't seen Houseboat, I highly recommend that you do. Well, because it's such a romantic, lovely, and such a beautiful film. You will be astonished. This movie is just spectacular. I've seen it and wow, this is probably a great film that I've seen from Paramount along with the other ones. So for my final rating for Houseboat, and it's also one of the best ones from 1958 along with Gigi. So for my final rating for Houseboat, I'm gonna give this movie a 7 out of 7. Outstanding film. And there you go. That was my review on the movie Houseboat. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to me. This is Jonathan, the Disney and Halloween fan here once again, and I will see you guys next time on my next video, and I will see you guys later. Peace out, y'all.